Did I just seal my hatch closed?
What's up, everybody? Welcome to second episode of TK Driven. Today we are going to install a whale tail carbon fiber spoiler on Quicksilver, the 93 Silverstone Metallic RX7. So the first thing you want to do, that bottle says Quick Detailer, but it's actually full of isopropyl alcohol. You can remove any residues and waxes and dust and whatever else with alcohol very efficiently. So get your surfaces you're about to work on completely sprayed down and cleaned off. Do the same thing for any part that you're going to install. Next thing you want to do is find the very center of the part. Mark it with some painter's tape so you know right where to put the center on the car. I did a whole bunch of test fitting this piece. This is from Shine Auto Project. They make a whole bunch of carbon fiber and FRP pieces for the famous, mostly 90s Japanese cars. Their stuff's usually really good. I got a whole bunch of stuff that I'm getting ready to put on from them on Raven, the black RX7. The only thing I will say about this piece, as you saw me doing there, is the ends could come down. The arc of the ends over the tail lights could be a little tighter. They stick up just ever so slightly, so it took a little extra tape, as you'll see here in a minute, to hold those down, but once it was on, you really couldn't tell. So I've got a ruler here, and I'm trying to find a point on the car that I can measure against on both sides to try to get the exact point of that very end piece of that spoiler in the exact same position on both sides. So once I was satisfied with that, I've got some painter's tape, and I start to, what I did is I put a piece on the spoiler itself and then on the body of the car. And I did one in the middle and one on each end. And you'll see me cut them in half here in a minute when it's time for the final install. So here I am starting to cut this one. The reason I'm doing this is it gives me something to mark against, so I can flip the spoiler over and get all the 3M tape on it, and then put it back in this exact same position now that I'm satisfied with where it is. I used a 3M adhesive tape. The link's in the description. It's made for doing exactly this stuff. It's an automotive molding tape. It's supposed to last through heat and cold and everything else. Since I filmed this video, it's been a couple months, and the car has been quite fast. We'll just leave it at that. And there hasn't been any issues with anything coming off so far, so the tape seems to be holding up just fine. Wiping it down with the alcohol again. Make sure that the dust and stuff is gone. So take one end of the tape and leave the red plastic mylar type stuff on the other side so that you can press into the tape really strongly and get it to adhere to your piece you're going to be installing, and run it all along the piece. I bought this at like Advance or AutoZone, I can't remember which one, and didn't notice that there was a roll just like it that was like triple the amount for only like $2 more. So I screwed up there and I used up the entire roll on one little strip here, and I knew it wasn't going to be enough on those end pieces that stick up just ever so slightly, so I had to go get some more.
Yeah, hey, look, it's a bad, yeah. I'ma take that as a threat. Sorry, homie, I got no respect. I don't. Left me on my own, I was bad, but I'm good now. Or I'm better than I was. Lost some good people just because they was hard to trust. I ain't trying to act like I'm tough. I ain't trying to act like I'm up. It's just so hard to love, yeah. Let me talk. I keep tripping when I walk through. My ex-girl's thriving big time. I'm in the studio trying to get mine.
So there's the bigger roll. That's what I should have bought all along. I ended up using the whole thing. Save you a bunch of money.
I think I'll be fine. You don't have to check on me, I probably won't reply. No offense, I'm grinding, you don't have to pay attention. Life's a game of inches, running at a mile a minute. Dobermans and Rottweilers, all my dogs are winning. We've been sitting like some children, asking mama for permission. What's up? I wanna know what it's like to be a pro. What's it like to step on stage and see 10,000 at a show? After parties with
I'm filming all this by wearing a GoPro. Well, it's actually a DJI on my hat, so it probably looks hilarious. You can see it in the shadow right there. I bet you the people in the AutoZone was like, what the heck is that guy doing? And there's the bigger roll. That's what you really need. So you just do what you were doing before, but you cover all the surface, the mating surface where the part's going to touch the car, because this is going to be out in the weather for hopefully years to come when you're driving it, and it's going to be really super hot in the sun, and it's just good to cover every surface, in my opinion. So I took it all the way to the edges, and I just completely covered it up. One of my mechanics showed up and wanted to make an appearance. Come up here and say hi. Just there. Hey, wait. Can you wait? All right. Now I start lining up the tape that we made earlier to the body to make sure everything's perfectly straight. And my second mechanic showed up and wanted to say hi. But you can come sit here and wave to the camera real quick.
Hi.
Oh yeah. Alright. The black motorcycle's hot. Be very careful.
What are you doing?
Putting a little spoiler on the RX7. So right here I start going through and smushing as hard as I can into that tape and making sure it's got a good seat. And then you pick a red corner off and pull that protective plastic off the other side. Make one big long run of it. And then pick you another corner and do your next line. You can hear the mechanics arguing over who gets to sit on the hot motorcycle and burn their legs. So here's the piece with all the stuff removed, and you can see the tape all the way out to the edges and on every mating surface that's going to touch the car. It's fine to go a little overkill, in my opinion. You don't want this thing coming off. Real carbon fiber is expensive, and it looks nasty with road rash. So now take it, and before you smush it down or make any contact at all, line up those tape pieces you made absolutely as best as you can, because once you put it on, it's a pain to take it off and get everything perfectly lined up. You can hear the mechanics have somehow started the motorcycles and are having some sort of burnout war. Sounds like they might need to get some things adjusted in those engines. So now, when you're completely satisfied, take your rag or something and start to smush down that 3M tape. I used my whole body weight. I was just about picking myself up off the ground doing it. And I did it for a while too. I went back and forth and just really don't want this thing to come off. Who knows if you'd ever find it again. You might not notice it's flew off, and it's just too expensive to have it fly off. Now you can really start to see that it's really on there. I'll start playing around with it here and making sure nothing's loose. And I can tell that the tape is really starting to adhere. It feels like I've used bolts or something. But yet I still take a rag and go over it some more, especially on those corner pieces where the arc is not quite turned in enough. Get those smashed down with a little piece of tape as best you can too. If you're working on this exact specification, you know, on this car. But this would be the same for putting any piece on any car. And then get rid of your painter's tape. And you're getting close here. And once you're satisfied, start wiping off all your fingerprints and stuff. Get it nice and shiny. And roll some beautiful B-roll.
Trying to act like I'm tough. I ain't trying to act like I'm up. It's just so hard to love, yeah. Let me talk. I keep tripping when I walk through. My ex-girl's thriving big time. I'm in the studio trying to get mine, yeah. It's a real vibe. I'm just chilling with my bros, never been high. Think I'll be fine. You don't have to check on me, I probably won't reply. No offense, I'm grinding, you don't have to pay attention. Life's a game of inches, running at a mile a minute. Dobermans and Rottweilers, all my dogs are winning. We've been sitting like some children, asking mama for permission. What's up? I wanna know what it's like to be a pro. What's it like to step on stage and see 10,000 at a show? After parties with glow, fast whips, clean clothes. Right now I'm young and broke, but that's dope, cause I feel fresh and concerned. Some girl that I just cursed, she got on my nerves. Try not to be such a jerk, just one time you got hurt. You're not the first, no. It's a bet. I'ma take that as a threat. Sorry, homie, I got no respect. I don't. Left me on my own. I was bad, but I'm good now. Or I'm better than I was.
Carbon fiber's so party.
They was hard to trust. I ain't trying to act like I'm tough. I ain't trying to act like I'm up. It's just so hard to love, yeah. Why I keep seeing your face? Why we in the same place?
All right, everybody. Well, the spoiler's installed, and I was downstairs editing the video and sent some pictures to some friends of mine and had the thought, hey, the hatch runs across there, and that spoiler extends to the fenders. Did I just seal my hatch closed? So I immediately ran upstairs, popped the hatch, and whew, that was close. I mean, it's like a 1/4 inch, and I didn't even think about it when I was putting it on. If I had moved it up ever so slightly, I would have sealed in my hatch. So I'm glad that didn't happen. All right, guys, please like and subscribe for some more videos. Appreciate it.